the scariest SCPs from around the internet. If you're watching this video, you probably have some sort of context of what an SCP is, and maybe you're even an expert. But if you're anything like me, you've probably heard the term SCP online before, but you didn't quite understand what it meant or what it was. I always kind of knew it was some sort of scary online creature, but that's where my understanding kind of ended. But because you guys are so awesome and always give me video ideas in the comments, I have seen SCP brought up in my comments quite a bit, so I knew it was time to do some research. In case you have no idea what an SCP is, let me give you the basic gist. The SCP Foundation is a collaborative writing platform centered around the fictional Foundation, a scientific and military organization that seeks to protect humanity and the status quo by locating and containing anomalies, objects, life forms, events, locations, concepts, creations, and phenomena that are in one way or another not natural. I know it sounds confusing, but these are basically just online mythical creatures that people made up that don't exist, and it's just funny and creative writing, basically. So with all of that being said, let's begin. Here is a list of some of the scariest ones that I've seen so far. Starting off, we have SCP-354, also known as the Red Pool. As the name suggests, SCP-354 is a red pool of a blood-like substance, but it's not blood. This pool is hidden in northern Canada in Area 354. And the most dangerous thing about this liquid is the fact that every so often, a very hostile and dangerous creature just emerges out of it. Due to the fact that this SCP isn't a creature, it's literally a body of water, it is actually not contained within the Foundation, hence the construction and existence of the fortified area built around this specific SCP. A few other things to mention about the pool that are kind of interesting are the fact that the water gets denser the deeper you go in the pool, so there isn't any information about how deep the pool is because no one's been able to get that deep, and also every hostile creature that's emerged out of the pool has been neutralized. This SCP is definitely scary and definitely creepy, but it's nothing compared to what else is on this list, so let's keep going. Next up, we have SCP-966, also known as the Sleep Killer. This SCP stands at 1.4 to 1.6 meters tall and weighs only 30 kilograms. It is a hairless humanoid creature that has a very gaunt and elongated face with razor-sharp needle-like teeth. This creature also has 5 razor-sharp claws on each hand. These claws aren't usable for combat as they are very weak and brittle, as is most of the creature. Its bones are hollow and it has very little muscle. And for that reason, this creature is not a big risk for physical attacks. So with that being said, why is it so scary? Obviously it looks scary, but is there any danger? Well, yes. This creature possesses 2 very unique abilities that makes it so dangerous. The first ability or attribute about this creature is the fact that it is only visible by infrared light, meaning that to the naked eye you cannot see these creatures. And the only way that you can see these creatures with a human naked eye is by burning them. Their tissue and organs become visible to the human eye once they are exposed to 3rd and 4th degree burns. That's more of an interesting attribute, but one of the most dangerous attributes about this creature is their unique ability to cause sleep deprivation. SCP-966 has the ability to yell and produce a never-before-seen ultrasonic wave that causes sleep deprivation and the inability to sleep in its victim. No matter what the victim does, it will not be able to sleep and eventually will die of sleep deprivation. At that point, the deceased victim will be consumed by SCP-966 and the cycle begins again. I don't know about you guys, but for me, this SCP has all the ingredients for nightmare fuel. But like I said previously, we're just getting started. Third on our list is SCP-280, also known as Eyes in the Dark. SCP-280 is a black, wraith-like apparition that floats only a few centimeters above the ground and stands or floats at average human height. This ghost-like creature has no visible legs or feet, and the lower part of its body simply fades away into nothing. Oh, yeah, and it also has super long, creepy fingers. This creature in its dormant state basically resembles a shadow and hides in dark corners or around objects while it waits for humans to pass it by. And why it's able to do this is because of one of its very unique abilities, which is able to essentially shift states of matter going from physical to almost like a vapor-like form at will. This creature is extremely strong and extremely aggressive to people, with death being its primary goal. One of the only ways to deter this SCP is with light. And when light is put directly onto this creature, it displays 2 large white eyes on its head, which, according to tests done by the Foundation, are purely aesthetic and have no function, similar to some insects that have eye-like patterns on their wings or body. These eyes are not visible when they attack, and they are only visible as they are retreating, as they are part of their defense mechanism. These SCPs are extremely strong and almost immune to all physical attacks. And although these SCPs are seemingly indestructible and able to escape most situations, their one true drawback is the fact that their hunting patterns are rather predictable. And if you have a strong enough light, you can cause them to retreat. With that being said, if you are targeted by this SCP, it will relentlessly follow you until you are dead, making this creature extremely terrifying. Moving on. SCP-973. This is one of the most interesting ones on the list, so definitely pay attention. This SCP is actually not one, but two creatures in one, and I really can't even call them creatures. I don't even know what to call them, really. I know I've used the term creature a lot in this video, and if that's not accurate to SCP lore, I apologize, but that's just a term I'm comfortable with. Back to 973, the first part of this SCP is 973-1, which appears as a late 1970s police cruiser in very well-worn condition. SCP-973-1 has been reported to have a cracked windshield, dented bodywork, and even rust and scratches. Now, the second entity with this SCP is 973-2, which appears as a Caucasian police officer. He appears to be in his late 40s, and he, like the vehicle, is wearing a uniform that is similar to something that would be worn in the 1970s. Okay, cool. So this SCP is two entities and really just resembles a policeman in his car. So what? Well, this is where things get interesting. This SCP only inhabits a very specific stretch of US highway, and what it does is rather unusual. This SCP is most commonly triggered by, ironically enough, speeding, and when it does appear, it typically appears about a half a kilometer behind the victim's car. This SCP is seen with its lights on, accelerating behind the victim's vehicle at a very fast pace. Once the SCP is directly behind the victim's car, it is able to transfer a radio frequency to the victim's car, telling them to run. On the radio, they will hear the frequency say, "You better run." This mysterious and threatening message that comes over the radio has the same effect across all victims. They take the bait and they are encouraged to run away from the police. After only a few moments of the police chase going on, the SCP is able to catch up and overtake the vehicle, and the rest is pretty gruesome. The exact specifics are unknown, but the victim's vehicles are always found in a state of unimaginable damage, and the driver and passengers are much different. Bodies have been found mangled, abused, assaulted, and in some cases, mutilated beyond repair. There isn't a ton more known about this SCP, but I thought it was very scary because of how based in reality it was, and how you thought a simple police encounter, which is already in its own pretty scary, especially on a lonely stretch of road late at night, could be so much worse than you even imagined. Following that, we have SCP-939. 939 is a four-legged creature that travels in packs and has some very strange attributes. They have translucent red skin and sharp spines running down their back. They look almost like radiated wolves. As you could probably imagine, these creatures feed on human flesh, but that's not where things end. These creatures are proficient in voice mimicry and do so with scary accuracy. One of the scariest parts about it is that they can mimic voices that they've never been exposed to, and they can also hold very long, fluent conversations, leading the Foundation to believe that they are much more intelligent than what their appearance would suggest. Something rather unique about these creatures is the fact that they have no vital organs, and with that, no apparent need for food, suggesting that they are killing primarily out of sport. That's exactly where their voice mimicry comes to play. They use this ability to mimic the voices of a loved one who is distressed or in need of immediate help, drawing victims into unsafe places and leading to their demise. To me, this is very reminiscent of a Wendigo or a Skinwalker, and in my opinion, almost as scary too. But now it's time for the final entry of this list. We have SCP-682. SCP-682 is definitely one of the most iconic and, for me personally, one of the scariest SCPs that exists in the lore. And although it's not one of the strongest, it is very unique in its own way, and let's just get right into it. 682 is one of the most highly dreaded monsters by the Foundation, and for good reason. It is a highly intelligent reptile-like creature that, under all accounts, has proven to be impossible to kill. For me personally, that's definitely one of its most terrifying attributes. Like, the Foundation has literally tried everything to damage and destroy this creature to literally no avail, but let's keep going. This creature also possesses extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes. And worst of all, a hatred for all things living. If you ask me, that's an absolutely brutal combo, and that's why this creature is number one on the list. It literally hates everything that exists, it cannot be stopped or killed, and it is extremely strong and capable of crazy damage and obviously death. I could waffle on about this for a little bit longer, but I think you guys get the idea. For me, at least on this list, this creature takes the cake. And I guess everything else. But what do you guys think? Which creature was the scariest on this list in your opinion? And if you're familiar with SCPs, which one should I talk about next? Please let me know if you enjoyed this topic and also if you enjoyed my presentation of these creatures. I wanted to kind of take a surface level approach and really just focus on the creature itself and its unique attributes. Let me know, was it too basic or was it honestly really easy to digest? Please let me know what you guys think. I I appreciate it so much. But for now, that's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, trust me, bro.